Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum. An incredible stylistic matchup between the two. Of course, Gastelum is more slightly favouring the wrestling when it comes to head, and then Whittaker, of course, has the edge in the stand up. Of course, Gastelum, he brings it. He brings the high pressure, high intensity. He will push you to the cage like he did against Israel. He doesn't make you feel comfortable in there. And of course, Whittaker, he pieces his opponents, but it's the fact if Gastelum is able to pressure him enough. And this is where I say this is one of the best stylistic matchups of the year, and I think it could be one of the fights of the year. Thing is, Gastelum, he's not coming up with a beautiful, pretty boy record over the last 5 or 6 fights. Of course, losing to the likes of Israel Adesanya, who's the current champion. Darren Till, who's very elite level competition. He's beaten top fighters, of course. A very well put together record at welterweight. And of course, Jack Hermansson, where Gastelum got caught in the jiu-jitsu side of things, course into the head, into the choke. But it's not like Gastelum hasn't been fighting the top echelon of fighters. So the record just says it for itself. Thing is what's going to happen in this fight. Is Gastelum going to be able to pressure Whittaker, or is Whittaker going to be able to piece him? Like I said, the thing is, one of the greatest fights I've ever watched, Gastelum versus Adesanya. And it's how Gastelum still piled on the pressure, but Israel was able to piece him. And the fact is this is probably, Whittaker is probably the only opponent for Gastelum where reach and size doesn't favour too much for Whittaker. Like, Gastelum isn't that much smaller than him. Physically, height-wise, reach-wise. And is that going to favour Gastelum in a big way? Because Gastelum, he's got high shoulders, he's got a very good guard. Like, he doesn't really need to hold his hands up. But then again, Whittaker brawls. But when Whittaker brawls, he throws in those hooks, but he's very quick with it. And it's just going to be interesting to see the exchanges between them. If, in like 1 minute of fighting, if Gastelum is going to go straight for a takedown, if he's going to be very predictable, or is he going to threat the takedown and Whittaker's going to go into this mental warfare? Because that's what Gastelum done to Ian Heinisch. Is, especially in that first round, he threated the takedown, and how massive that is. The thing is, when you're fighting against someone, if they're threatening you with like a takedown or the clinch, and it hits you in the back of your head, you've been preparing 8 weeks, 12 weeks to fight this guy, and you know he's going to take you down. Like if you're preparing for someone like GSP, Khabib, Kamaru Usman, and you prepare in your head that you know he's going to take you down, and you got to defend that takedown. You got to, if he's going to get you on the cage, you got to keep your legs wide, and you got to have a strong takedown defense. And that was the mental warfare Gastelum put into Ian Heinisch's head. And did it work? It worked wonders. But is he going to be able to do that against Robert Whittaker? We've seen Robert Whittaker's last fight against Jared Cannonier. And of course against Darren Till as well. Especially against Darren Till. He got those takedowns, and that's what won him the fight. But is he going to be able to have that mental warfare? I think that Robert Whittaker is probably the one where you won't be able to break him mentally. Once he's there in the fight, especially after that first round, he's there. And that's when this war is going to happen. It's going to take place right in front of us. And that's why I'm like rubbing my hands together. And it's killer. We don't give a fuck about Ben Askren versus Jake Paul. This is the fight. Right here, right now. These guys are going to have a 5-round war. And, of course, the rest of the fight card isn't so impressive. Of course, we've got Jeremy Stephens, a veteran, in the way. And then that's the only one I've really taken much consideration to look at. But it's all about this main event. It's all about this main event. Before we go to Florida and see the beautiful fight in front of the fans, a very uneven matchup between Usman and Masvidal, which I say is going to go towards Usman favourably a lot more than the first fight. But, man, I can tell already, people are sleeping on this fight. People are sleeping on this Gastelum fight. Whittaker Gastelum fight. And I kind of find that ridiculous, man. These two guys are put together brilliant quality fights. The two fights you should be watching towards this fight, of course, Gastelum versus Whittaker. My head's gone. Israel Adesanya versus Gastelum, probably the toughest fight for Adesanya in his whole career. And of course, Whittaker versus Romero 2, I'd say. But Whittaker is a new man. We've seen it in his last 2 fights. And Gastelum, if he is anything or next level to what he fought against Adesanya, I'm telling you, it's going to be a war. Official prediction. Do you know what? As mad as it sounds, I think split decision win, Kelvin Gastelum. Anyways, more videos to come soon. I'm pumped, man. But more videos to come soon. Just racking off the list. Gojira, new album. We're gonna review that. Might do some Chelsea videos. Of course, we got to go over the Usman Masvidal fight when we're on fight week. I don't know, man. Maybe some vlogs. Getting out and about in this world. Now it's out of lockdown. I don't know. But we'll see. We will see. Let's do this, man. We'll do this.